live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to One on One with Education Through Music, aka ETM. I'm Anwar Robinson, the Director of Programs, and I'm very excited to be here with you all today. I'm particularly excited because we have singer-songwriting duo and husband and wife, RAII and Whitney. And RAII and Whitney are amazing artists that I've had the pleasure over the years to work with and be in the same room with. They have been featured with, you may have seen them with Alicia Keys as supporting co-vocalists, also Ed Sheeran, Estelle, and many, many others. So I had the pleasure, first I met RAII, and this was over a decade ago. And we had been doing some open mics and some session work. And, he's just an amazing vocal and musical talent and a very kind person. And we did a show together at the Sugar Bar. That's one of my fondest memories. And every time I've worked with him or been in the space with him, just the utmost artistry, musicianship, vocals like none other. And then I had the pleasure of being in an audition scenario with Whitney. I remember we were the last two left going up for Kelly Rowland. That was the one time I was in the room, and Ron Grant was there. Rest in peace, Ron Grant. And I had sang, I was really nervous. And then you were the last one to sing at that session, and you blew the rafters off the wall. And it was just like, I knew Whit could sing, but Lord have mercy. And then I had no idea that y'all were even, friends, let alone courting. And then, y'all were married. I was like, oh, well, this makes total sense. And just to see the trajectory y'all have been on ever since, it's the stuff that dreams are made of. I mean, we have Ashford and Simpson. We have so many, husband, and so we have Marilyn McCoo and Billy Davis. And now I'm looking at RAII Whitney and walking in those steps as successful musicians, artists, creators, and lovers of humanity. So we're here today at Education Through Music. We're going to talk a little bit about y'all. Okay. And I just have a few questions, and welcome to our space. We're so glad to have y'all. How y'all feeling today, first of all?
We feel great. That was an amazing introduction.
Yeah, I don't know if I should be commenting or...
Yeah, like a little drip, just one little drip. Yeah, we're great, man. It's good to be here. We are thankful for Education Through Music for inviting us. It is. Yeah. For inviting us out. And, we have been able to do some amazing things throughout our journey so far, and we're just grateful to be able to share our experience with others.
Yeah, and that's all about sharing, because music is one of the main things we have right now, especially going through many pandemics at one time. Music education has been a saving grace, and it's just really all about making those connections and making the world a better place, which y'all have clearly been doing through your life and your music. Yeah, I mean, it's just good to be with y'all, especially in this space. So I'm gonna jump into a few questions that we have.
Okay.
The people want to know how things have been going for y'all for the past few months, especially during the pandemic of coronavirus. What have y'all been doing during quarantine to occupy your time?
So
a lot of self-work.
Yeah.
A lot of self-work. Having the time to be more intentional about what we want to do, who we are as artists. I know we have a pretty, our resume is long in a sense, and we have a lot of experience with being background vocalists, supporting vocalists for a lot of A-list artists and touring the world. And we've been simultaneously building our own career and cultivating our own self and putting out our own music. But in this time, it was like just being more intentional about us and what we wanted to do as creators, writing, producing, not, giving ourselves a safe place to produce, even though we don't, we're not known as famous producers, but being okay with saying, but this is what I would like this to sound like, or even with our writing and arranging vocals, even though we have history behind it. Every season is something different, and it's always important to just go deeper. And even in our marriage, our friendship, our communication, just really that being the foundation of everything else, that cultivating that and talking to each other about things that we may not have talked about or wanted to talk about, or just, just developing things that are important, that are a foundation to the rest of life.
Yeah, I agree. I also feel like there was a moment when we kind of had to grieve the plans that didn't happen, that we were looking forward to happening. So we were planning on going on tour for the rest of this year pretty much. And so for somebody working in the music industry as a supporting vocalist, a tour is a great money situation, right? You're going to get paid, you're going to travel the world, we get to do it together. So that's like,
that's 2 checks.
That's 2 checks. And then that's us being able to travel the world and experience things. Yeah. Also working in the field that we aspire to work in on a greater level. We're still getting trained and developed. Yeah. And so when quarantine happened and we realized that those plans were being changed, we had to take a moment and really like, all right, my feelings are a little hurt. I'm a little disappointed because I already had plans of what I was going to do and how I was going to do it, especially for me as a provider, as a husband. I had budgets in mind and, just things I wanted to pay off and just things I wanted to get done. And then we realized that the quarantine, although the challenge and the circumstance was really unfortunate, it was actually a blessing because it slowed us down. It almost took away all the distractions. And allowed us to really hone in on who is RAII Whitney, who is Mr. and Mrs. Smith off the stage, you know? And we've always said that our private life is what's going to be seen publicly. So this time of being able to bond and being able to communicate, like my wife was talking about, being able to have those challenging conversations and then work through them has been, it's been invaluable. I mean, I'm really excited actually for what's to come because I know since we've been in this season where we've been able to cultivate us, there's a platform that's on the way. So just embracing it really. Yeah,
the quarantine actually, I feel like it prioritized what was more important. Like I think that was the perspective that we got out of it. I think it's very important, your perspective in any season, right? But it's like your feelings hurt, because things are drastically changing. Your entire life is changing. How you think about things, how you do things, what you want to do, your goals, especially like we had, even with going on tour as independent artists, we were already putting in place and working on how to meet the fans on our days off, like doing meet and greets and like little performances here and there. So we were working on trying to maximize us being on tour and then, being able to still build with our supporters around the world. And then it's like, okay, so none of that is going to happen. So now what are you going to do? And it's like, okay, now we have time to. So now we feel that God is saying, that's a great idea if and whenever that happens. But right now, I actually want you to focus on this because this is what's going to prepare you for after this. Yeah. So we changed the perspective and was like, all right, that's not a never. It's just not now. And if it is a never, then that's okay. We don't have control over it anyway. So let's just focus on what we have, do what we can with what we have, and try to thrive. Yeah.
Wow, there's so much that y'all just offered because the perspective changing is also a saving grace during an age that we really haven't experienced. I mean, we've had catastrophic events in our lifetime. I mean, I remember September 11th, 2001, and even people who have experienced natural catastrophes, is something to be said about resilience.
For sure.
We are dealing in a society that has been, filled with racial inequity that has come to surface as a result of human beings having time to sit and reflect, and also just looking at, without any distractions, police violence, brutality, and how are we responding to that? And that's been something for many people and organizations to grapple with. And I think that one thing that's important is to have conversations like this where we're getting a view into how you both as humans and as, a partnership, how you have been able to be resilient and reframe this time to use it to your advantage. That's so important because, in people in different spaces don't always have that opportunity, especially since there's other things that, we may have to worry about. So having someone to do that with and be creative in that process, that is indeed, as y'all said, indeed a blessing.
Yeah.
I also wonder, as you were growing up and listening to music, how did that get you to be able to get to this place where the two have become one? What was music like in your households growing up? What was that like in your life path, getting to where you all are now?
Our, our stories are very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost identical. Well,
it's
very similar.
So my grandmother was a pastor on the south side of Chicago. My mother, who is the youngest of her siblings, was choir director. So I was brought up in the church, in the choir, and my mom taught me.
And my grandfather was the pastor of the church I grew up in. And my mother also was my choir director, who is also the youngest of her siblings.
That's a lot more than coincidence. That's like divine order.
So we found videos recently of both of us singing in the choir. Different times, different songs, but we end up saying the same word as an ad-lib. Both are leading us.
Y'all can't make this stuff up.
If I would have tried to script it, it still wouldn't have been as good. It still wouldn't have been.
No creative writer can make that up. That is amazing.
Yeah.
So then both of us, like junior high and high school, we did, chorus, different choirs and stuff.
Singing with our family. Playing, just normal time, just chilling out.
Yeah. My mom is a soprano. Her and her sister sang. My grandfather sang. So it was, and just singing in the choir, like our family is musical. But yeah, it was always just a moment of like worship and fun, because I listened to R&B and soul music as well. It wasn't just gospel. So that was pretty much what I listened to: R&B, gospel, soul music, blues.
You was a big MC Hammer fan at the young age.
I don't even know how. For my 4th birthday, my mom bought me tickets to an MC Hammer concert. That was what I wanted as a 4-year-old.
Can't touch this.
For me, like my mom would always say I was like having 12 kids. I'm my mom's only child. My energy, I had tons of energy. But when listening to music, she said if I listened to music, she was able to get things done. Like, it was like, if I had music on, you were attentive, you were calm, and that was another reason why I couldn't go to sleep. My grandmother used to try to sing me to sleep, but I would be listening. So you have to give me like white noise or something in order for me to actually relax and calm down, go to sleep. It's like, you sing it to me, I'm like learning, or, just.
You're learning the song. You're listening to how she's singing. Wow. So it's clear that music being in your household and being welcomed in your household the way that it was in your social lives, in your church life, that it was inevitable that not only was it taking hold, but this was something that almost was genetic and emotional, growing inside of you even before you came into the world. So was there opportunities for you all to be these amazing musicians that you were for your families at home and in church, in schools? Did y'all have opportunities? Did you have music teachers that saw that in you and brought that out? What was that like growing up in school, being musicians already?
It was fun, and doing it in school, you're away from family, so then you get to interact with other people that don't look like you, that come from different backgrounds. You get to appreciate the different sounds, the different backgrounds, or even the different genres. Because you at home, there's only, you listen to whatever your parents or grandparents, whoever listen to. But then you go to school and they expose you to other types of music, and you're like, whoa, I didn't even know this was a thing. This is so cool. And then in chorus choir, you get to sing with other people, and it's like, I'm blending with somebody else that doesn't look like me, but this is really cool. We're all coming together to create this sound, and it's a safe place for creativity. Like your chorus class was probably one of my favorites. Like to learn songs, choreography, to just the production of it, like performance, practicing for the concerts. One of my favorite teachers, Miss Birch, she, in 8th grade, we would learn choreography and music for the end of the year concert. But she would do this thing on Fridays, which was like talent Fridays, or I forget the exact name, but it was like a talent show just for the class, where we weren't learning the music for the concert, but everybody, it was like a variety show. Everybody was able to like do poetry, sing, and we would like vote and, you know, get feedback with each other. It was so cool. Like, I was like, so not only is it fun that I get to sing with people and learn work ethic and teamwork, but then I had an opportunity to be me. Like, I could do a solo, I could do whatever I wanted to do. It was just a safe place to do other things, music related.
For me, I had 3 specific teachers throughout my school journey, right? So when I was in grammar school, Miss Edge was my music teacher. And I remember, I hear stories now from my friends who went to school, like Heather and Amanda. They're like, when you first came to the school, everybody was talking about this little boy who could sing. For me, I don't think I knew that I could sing. I just sang.
It's just something,
But for whatever reason, it made an impact on the students in that moment. And I remember Miss Edge gravitating towards me and being able to nurture me in that way. And then when I got to high school, I did show choir. And so I got to give a shout out to Mr. John Neubauer, because he was my show choir teacher, and he poured into me as well. And so that was singing and dancing, all types of music, choreography. So it was like exposing and cultivating my dance moves. And then when I went to college, I joined the University of Illinois Black Chorus under the direction of Dr. Ollie Watts Davis. And she also kind of took me under her wing and poured into me as well. So I've had very consistent and important music mentorship to a degree through school that has definitely aided me in what I'm doing now.
Yeah, the same here with me throughout high school, doing solos and being a part of the advanced women's choir. It was a mix of choreography and music. I don't think him or I realized that this would benefit us as being supporting vocalists for A-list artists. Like, that wasn't even we never thought about that. But even in my chorus choir, I also helped out with the choreography. It was just something I was allowed to do. So it was developing me as a leader in that musical space, like being able to know how to teach other people and meet people where they are, to bring something together for people, for everybody to feel confident in creating this thing for this performance that we're all getting ready to do. And it was just a beautiful space to be able to cultivate me as a choreographer, as a dancer, as a singer, and like, wow, I'm traveling the world doing the exact same thing. Like,
it was all preparation. I mean, and it seems like everything is on purpose. If it's not intentional, it's on purpose, especially when you grab hold of all those experiences and then create something new. And it's just a great thing that you both were prepared. I just got to say, it's so unique that you, as, you know, as a married couple, are able to be supporting artists for such a major artist as Alicia Keys. I think that's, you know, not unprecedented, but something that we haven't seen outward in a long time. I mean, I mentioned Ashford and Simpson and Marilyn McCool, Billy Davis coming to mind as husband and wife musicians that are popular and formidable. You know, I really feel that that's empowering, and it's such an empowering and important story to be able to tell for both y'all and education through music, because that is the goal. That's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be building students up so that they can go out in the world and be change agents and take what we give them and make a difference. I mean, how does that continue to reveal itself to you, y'all being change agents to change the world, especially the world that we are in right now?
I think music in general, it gives a space for expression of creativity, right? And in that expression of creativity, there's an opportunity for you to learn about your identity and who you are. And I believe very strongly that the most significant way to change the world is to change or to work on or to develop yourself. Because the world is
made up
a culmination of everybody else, everybody's selves, right? So the music, to me, just, it's like that space where you can find yourself or try things. And a lot of times when you are suppressed from expression or communicating, you're not even allowed to say your thoughts or to say how you feel. And a part of, becoming a better human is to understand your feelings and you understand your emotions, understand why you feel the way you feel and why you respond the way you respond and what is triggering that, so that you're not just reacting, but then you can actually be able to respond.
Yeah.
So I think, it's incredibly important.
Yeah, even thinking about how songs are written, or even like a sequence of a song with being like a verse and then a chorus and then a verse and then maybe a bridge. It's almost the outline of emotions. Like sometimes it's so challenging for people to put into words how they want to say things. But if you give them an outline, if you give them sections and break in you can focus in on what do I want to say to begin with. I can organize my thoughts. And then if the chorus is something that I really want to repeat or stress in this moment, these emotions, that's the hook. That's something that if this is the part that I want people to remember, even if they don't even pay attention to the verse or, my deeper thoughts, I can put this in the hook. And then on the bridge, I can go even deeper if I want to and combine the hook if I want to. Like, it's just like an outline of emotions. So it's such a powerful way, like he was saying, to be able to express yourself and find your voice. And then even the fact, even if we don't speak the same language, you go back and you go into frequency. You go into sound and how it affects how you feel. Music statistically helps with stress. It helps with anxiety. A lot of that is running rampant now in this world. With students, with younger students, the younger generation now are dealing heavier with anxiety and depression. And so even keeping that in schools, even for the fact of therapy, because there are a lot of students that need this that may not be getting it at home. Like, not in addition to, some students aren't even getting educated at home. So they have to go to their teachers, people that were born to cultivate them in that area, because their parents may not be, either didn't have a further education that they needed to, or just may not even understand. But even thinking about emotionally, their parents may be too busy. Maybe it's too many siblings in the household where parents aren't able to divide their time. But you go into a music class, you go into music education, and now I can learn these songs that help me outline these emotions. It gives me this freedom to speak, even if I don't speak the same language. Somebody is feeling what I feel, and we can connect and we can build a community with each other through frequency and sound. And it's also helping me deal with the anxiety that I felt, or these emotions that I felt about myself, or the stress that I feel when I'm at home. I'm able to relieve this because the frequencies are helping me heal as well as express.
It's so powerful. It really makes me think, looking at your trajectory through life as artists, me as a leader of music teachers and a co-music educator, I often think, especially now, how do we show up now that we've done distance learning? We're living through a pandemic. There's so much talk around how school's going to look, and there's so much that hasn't been solidified, in so many different spaces. As artists, as beneficiaries of great music education, as products of amazing and musically talented and spiritual families, what would you want music teachers to know, and who would you want us to be when we come back to reunite, God willing, with our students in the coming weeks?
Yeah.
I would hope, similar to what we alluded to earlier, that the music teachers are taking time to do self-development, and not necessarily, I do think that there should be preparation for the students to come, but you all need therapy. You all need counseling. You all need a place where y'all can release and have your thoughts kind of sorted through. And even, not for nothing, but, we train and we teach vocal and performance to students. It's easy to become comfortable in the teacher role, and then you stop being a student yourself. So this is also a time where, as a teacher, you can become a student again and rekindle or remind yourself, why was music so important? It's more than just a paycheck. It's more than just because this is what I can do and I have a job to do it. What drew me to music? How did music affect me?
And even meeting them beyond being a teacher, you have to realize they are souls. They're people, all different ages and backgrounds. Meeting them where they are, because you can't really change something you're not connected to. So being able to be connected to these human beings, being able to be connected to these children on an emotional level, that is when you meet people where they are first, and you build a genuine connection with where they are, then they're more open and free to allow you to pour into them what you feel is going to benefit them or help them with vocal and performance. And, it just opens up it creates a safe place for them to receive what they need, but then not just a safe place, but it also gives them the confidence to do what that they can do. Because you can be whatever you want to be, and you guys got it, this and that. But if I meet you, if you feel like I know who you are and I respect who you are, then what I teach you, you'll honor it. You'll honor what I teach. And you won't just honor it for that moment, you'll take it with you. And that's something that you'll be able to apply to the next person, or this is what I learned from Mr. Anwar, and he made me feel this way. And I want to make other kids feel this way. I want to make other people feel this way. So this is what I'm taking from this. I know that I've learned these songs. I learned them in different languages or different genres, but a part of our gift is how we make people feel. You can have a talent and it gets people attention, but how you make them feel and what they take from it and what they're willing to bring to the next generation or the people that in their family or in their circle, that's how we change the world. You meet them where they are, then they have a safe place, you pour into them, and then they're excited about pouring it into someone else.
Wow, you just quoted Maya Angelou just through that narrative. People will always remember how you make them feel. They might not remember what you said or what you did, but they will always remember how you made them feel. I think that's one of the most important things we can walk away from. I could talk to y'all all day on a deep level about artistry and education. As artists, y'all are the living beings, and us as teaching artists, we're all teachers and we're all here imparting a gift. And while there may be so many different directions to go, it's really important that we remember how we make people feel and plant that desire in our students and fellow human beings. We're all human beings, so that they want to spread that so we can combat all that's, happening that's adverse in the world. Wow, you've given us so much to think about. I'm just being thankful. That's a Freudian slip because, to be in a room with artists and to be in that space, in this kind of space, to share in that is really important. I cannot thank y'all enough, RAII Whitney, for taking this little half hour to come back to us. I mean, y'all have been doing it before millions of people for, years on end. And for me, seeing y'all, this is just the beginning, and there's so much of a story to unfold with you both. And we here at Education Through Music, this is what we're looking to continue to evolve, to become better music educators, better human beings. That's why we do this. So you all being a part of our journey, I'm immensely gracious and grateful to y'all, not just for this time, but for all that you have done. I know y'all have some social media you could shout out as we're wrapping up. Please feel free to share it with everybody.
Sure. So if you're on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or
Twitter,
any of them, all of those, you can find us at RAII Whitney, which is RAIIANDWHITNEY. And so we post there, we update our bio, link in the bio with all of our music and things that we're doing. So if you follow us there, you'll see everything that's going on.
And we'll be sure to share on our social media new things that y'all are doing. Just forward it on over to us. This definitely won't be the last conversation that we have, because my brain is definitely turning, and just to be reconnected with y'all in this space is definitely divine. And we're so glad y'all could be with us today. Also, for those of you who are watching, our social media for Education Through Music is ETM Online. You can put the @ symbol before that for Instagram or Twitter. You can find us on Facebook as well. Well, you're here now, so you found us. So it's been a pleasure, RAII Whitney, to be with y'all again and to have y'all here. And we wish you all the best, although y'all are clearly on your way to continuing to sow great seeds in the world. So thank y'all so much.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, y'all stay cool in Chi-Town. We'll try to weather this warmth out in New York. Thank you all in the audience for joining us today as well. Everyone have a great day, and we'll see you soon on 1-to-1, or in this case, 2-on-1.
Right.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.